My mother leaned in close during my grandfather's funeral and whispered, "Stop standing around. People need drinks." I was 29 years old. I had just given the eulogy. But there I was, weaving through mourners with a tray of iced tea, while my younger sibling sat in the front row, draped in black, accepting condolences. How do you mourn someone when you're too busy being the help? I cleared plates. I refilled glasses. I smiled at distant cousins who didn't even know my name. No one thought twice about it. That was just my role. But what none of them knew. What? My parents had no idea about was that Grandpa had been watching for years, and he'd left me something that would flip the entire script. Where are you watching from, by the way? Drop your time zone in the comments. And if you've ever felt invisible in your own family, go ahead and hit that like button. You'll want to stick around for this, because exactly 1 hour after we buried him, the lawyer arrived. Let me back up. I started paying rent to my parents the month I turned 18, $800 a month. They made me sign a lease and everything. My sibling lived there free. No lease, no chores, full ride. I worked 2 jobs to cover rent, groceries, utilities. I fixed the gutters. I painted the garage. I cooked Sunday dinners for 6. When the roof needed repair, they asked me for $4,000. I sent it. They told the rest of the family my sibling had paid for it. When my sibling needed a car, they co-signed. When I asked, they said I needed to build my own credit. I skipped college because they said they needed me at home. My sibling got a degree, fully funded. At family dinners, my mother would say to my sibling, "You just focus on your studies." Then she'd turn to me. "The gutters are full again." Everyone acted like this was normal, like I owed them. The only person who ever said anything was Grandpa. 2 years ago, he pulled me aside after Thanksgiving. "Keep everything," he told me. "Receipts, texts, emails, all of it. Trust me." I thought he was being paranoid, but I did it anyway. I started a folder, bank transfers, Venmo logs, screenshots of my mother's requests, photos of the chore lists she'd taped to my bedroom door. I never thought I'd actually need it, until the will was read. The estate lawyer gathered us in Grandpa's study the day after the funeral. My parents sat on the leather couch. My sibling stood by the window. I stayed near the door. The lawyer opened the file. "This is a straightforward estate," he said. "Your grandfather was very clear." Then he read it. The house, the investment accounts, the small rental business Grandpa had run for 30 years. All of it. To me. My mother's face went white. My sibling actually gasped. There was a long silence. Then my mother spoke, voice tight and controlled. "He wasn't in his right mind. This can't be valid." My sibling turned to me. "You manipulated him. You were over there all the time, weren't you?" I hadn't visited Grandpa in 6 months. I'd been working 60-hour weeks just to stay afloat. My father stood up. "If you don't do the right thing here, if you don't split this fairly, you're going to regret it. We're your parents." The lawyer cleared his throat. "The will was executed 8 months ago. Your grandfather was of sound mind, witnessed by 2 independent parties, and evaluated by his physician." My mother's jaw tightened. "This is a mistake, and we're going to fix it." The lawyer handed me a sealed envelope. "He asked me to give you this, privately." I took it. I walked out without saying a word. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. 48 hours later, a certified letter arrived. Petition to contest last will and testament. My parents had hired a probate attorney. They were alleging undue influence and diminished capacity. I called my aunt. She sounded cold. "Your mom told me what you did. How could you take advantage of him like that?" I tried to explain. She hung up. My sibling posted on social media. Nothing direct. Just a vague story about snakes in the family and how some people forget where they come from. Within a week, I was completely frozen out. No one was returning my calls. Extended. Family members I hadn't spoken to in years were suddenly texting me. Is it true? Your parents are devastated. You should be ashamed. I sat in my apartment and stared at that sealed envelope. I hadn't opened it yet. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should just sign everything over. Maybe it wasn't worth the fight. A friend came by that night. She asked me one question. Do you have anything in writing? Anything at all that proves he meant it? I looked at the envelope. That night, I finally opened Grandpa's letter. It was 2 pages. Handwritten. Dated 6 months before he died. By the time you read this, they'll already be fighting you, it began. He listed specific things. Things I thought no one had noticed. You paid $4,200 for the roof repair. They told everyone it came from your sibling. You sent them money every month for 3 years. They called it a gift. I know it wasn't. You were asked to skip Thanksgiving 2 years ago because there wasn't enough room at the table. There was room. They just didn't make one for you. My hands were shaking. I watched them take and take. You gave without asking for anything back. You deserved better. I'm fixing what I can. Then, at the bottom of the 2nd page, I kept notes, dates, amounts, conversations. My attorney has them in a separate file. You'll need them. Don't let them bully you. I chose you because you earned it. Not because you asked, because you never did. He signed it. Witnessed and notarized. I called the lawyer immediately. He mentioned a journal, I said. I have it, the lawyer replied. 3 years of entries. Would you like me to send it over? Then I opened my own files. 12 years of records. Every payment, every request, every message. I'd kept everything. My parents didn't back down. They doubled down. 3 days later, my father left a voicemail. You've got one chance to make this right before we bury you in court. One chance. My sibling sent a text. It was long. A full essay about everything I supposedly owed them. We fed you. We housed you. We gave you everything. You lived under our roof. You owe us. And now you're going to steal from the family? I didn't respond. Then my mother did something calculated. She posted on a local community page. Nothing specific, just enough. Thank you to everyone reaching out during this difficult family dispute. It's hard when people forget where they came from. The comments filled with support. For her. People I'd never met were calling me ungrateful. My parents recruited extended family to sign a petition supporting the will contest. 11 people signed it. The hearing was scheduled. 3 weeks out. My mother's lawyer sent a letter claiming I'd forged Grandpa's letter. They demanded a handwriting analysis. I welcomed it, because what they didn't know, what they had no idea about, was that I had 12 years of documentation. Bank statements, text threads, Venmo requests, lease agreements, photos, emails. And Grandpa's journal corroborated every single one. They thought I'd fold. They had no idea what was coming. I spent the next 2 weeks organizing everything. First, the bank statements. Transfers going back 10 years. $43,186. Every cent sent to my parents. Rent, loans, emergencies, car insurance, utility bills. Not $1 ever came back. Then, the messages. I pulled every text where my mother had asked me for money. Can you cover the water bill this month? Don't tell your sibling, they'd worry. That phrase appeared 14 times. 14. Next, the lease. The one they'd made me sign on my 18th birthday. $800 a month with both their signatures and mine. My sibling never signed one. There was no record of my sibling ever paying rent. Finally, Grandpa's journal. 3 years of dated entries. The lawyer sent the full file. One entry from 18 months before he died. They charged her rent again today. Her brother still pays nothing. I asked why. They said she needs to learn responsibility. It's not responsibility. It's cruelty. Another from 8 months out. They'll come after her the minute I'm gone. They need money and they think she's too weak to fight. I'm going to prove them wrong. I sent everything to my lawyer in a single encrypted file. And then I did something else. I ran a background check. Legal. Public records only. I needed to know why they were really fighting. The records came back in 2 days. My parents were drowning. $87,000 in credit card debt. A second mortgage on their house. 2 car loans, both underwater. They'd been living beyond their means for years. And they'd been using me to subsidize it. My lawyer walked me through it. They were counting on this inheritance, she said. It was their exit plan. I pulled up my siblings' social media, designer bags, resort vacations, a brand new car, all of it funded by my parents, or more specifically, by credit they couldn't afford. Then I found the final piece. Another entry in Grandpa's journal, dated 8 months before his death. I told them I was updating my will. They assumed everything would be split equally. I didn't correct them. I wanted to see what they'd do. They've been bleeding her dry for years and they don't even see it. They think of her as an ATM, as help. They'll come after her the minute I'm gone. They need the money, and they think she's too weak to fight. I'm leaving it all to her, not to punish them, but because she's the only one who never asked me for a dime. I closed the journal. I wasn't an investment. I wasn't family. I was a resource. Now I knew exactly what to do. I hired a probate litigator, one of the best in the state. We had one meeting. I brought 3 binders. She flipped through them in silence for 20 minutes. Then she looked up. "This is airtight," she said. "They don't have a case." We prepared a response. 3 exhibits. First, Grandpa's letter and journal. Handwriting verified. Dates corroborated. Second, my financial records. The full picture. Payments, leases, messages, everything. Third, a timeline. It showed I'd only visited Grandpa twice in his final 6 months. I had the sign-in logs from his assisted living facility to prove it. My parents had visited weekly, and during those visits, they'd borrowed $12,000 from him. He'd noted every ask in his journal. Not $1 had been repaid. My lawyer added a counterclaim, financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. "We're not doing this for revenge," I told her. "I just want the truth on record." She nodded. "The truth is enough." I took a day off work. I sat in my apartment. I didn't rehearse. I didn't plan some big speech. I just centered myself. No anger, no bitterness, just clarity. Grandpa had believed I deserved more, and he was right. The hearing was on a Tuesday. I walked in ready. The courtroom was small. Oak benches, a single gallery. My parents sat on one side with their lawyer. My sibling sat behind them. I sat on the other side. Just me and my attorney. The judge called the case. My parents' lawyer stood first. He was polished, confident. "Your Honor, this is a clear case of undue influence. The decedent was isolated in his final months and subjected to manipulation by the respondent, who visited frequently and obtained access to his finances." My lawyer didn't even flinch. The judge looked at me. "Does the respondent wish to present a defense?" My attorney stood. "We do, Your Honor, and we have documentation." She placed the first exhibit on the projector. Grandpa's letter. The full text. "Your Honor, this letter was written 6 months before the decedent's passing. It was witnessed, notarized, and written in his own hand. We've had it independently verified." She read one line aloud. I watched them take and take. "You gave without asking for anything back. This is my choice, made freely and soundly." My mother's face went pale. Next exhibit, the timeline. "Your Honor, the petitioner claims isolation and frequent visits. The respondent visited twice in the decedent's final 6 months. Here are the sign-in logs from his facility." She placed them on screen. 2 visits. My name twice. The petitioners, however, visited weekly. During those visits, they borrowed $12,000. Not $1 was repaid. We have the decedent's personal journal documenting each request. My father shifted in his seat. Third exhibit. My financial records. Your Honor, the respondent paid rent to the petitioners from age 18. $800 per month. Here is the signed lease. She projected it. My signature. Their signatures, the date. The petitioner's other child never signed a lease and paid no rent. Over the course of 10 years, the respondent transferred $43,000 to the petitioners. Not $1 was returned. The room was silent. My parents' lawyer leaned over and whispered something. My father's shoulders sagged. Their lawyer stood. Your Honor, may we have a brief recess? 5 minutes later, they returned. Your Honor, their lawyer said quietly, the petitioners wish to withdraw the contest. The judge looked at my parents. Is that correct? My father nodded. He wouldn't look at me. Very well. The will is admitted to probate without further challenge. The gavel came down. I walked out of that courtroom and didn't look back. 2 weeks later, my mother sent an email. We're sorry things got out of hand. We were grieving and scared. We hope we can move past this. I read it once. I archived it. I didn't reply. My sibling sent one last text. I hope you're happy. You destroyed this family. I blocked the number. Over the next month, a few extended family members reached out. A couple of them had heard the full story. My aunt called. I'm sorry I didn't ask your side sooner, she said. It's okay, I told her. I'm okay now. I went no contact with my parents. No calls, no visits. No exceptions. It wasn't revenge. It was a boundary. I sold Grandpa's house. The market was good. I invested most of the proceeds. And then I did something I'd been thinking about since the hearing. I used a portion of the estate to establish a scholarship. In Grandpa's name, for first-generation students who are supporting family while trying to build their own lives. The kind of kids who pay rent to their parents and still show up. I started therapy. I needed to process 12 years of being treated like I was less than. It took time, but I got there. I didn't post about any of this on social media. I didn't send screenshots to the family group chat. I didn't publicly shame anyone. I just set boundaries. I built a life. I moved forward. Grandpa didn't leave me money. He left me permission. Permission to stop shrinking myself for people who never saw me. Permission to believe I was worth more than how much I could give. That was the real inheritance. So let me ask you something. What's one boundary you need to set this year? Maybe it's with family. Maybe it's at work. Maybe it's with yourself. Drop it in the comments. This is a safe space. And if this story connected with you, if you've ever felt like the help in your own life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I share one story a week, and your support means everything. Thank you for being here. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal, financial, or therapeutic advice. If you're navigating family conflict or estate issues, please consult a licensed professional in your area. Take care of yourself. You deserve more than you think.